Hi, it's Ryan from Knights Around the Table, and holy free holies, Funforge has sent along a very exciting box of boxes. This is a game called Monumental. It's a Kickstarter exclusive, which means you can't actually go into a retail store as of this airing, this taping, and buy the game. You have to buy it on Kickstarter. Now, they've already done their first Kickstarter campaign, and they're planning to launch their second Kickstarter campaign for the expansion, I believe, called Lost Kingdoms, which they also sent along. But I titled this video a Monumental Announcement, and that's what I want to do first because it ties into this game. What's going on is that I have partnered with Rahdo, who you may know from his Rahdo Runs Through channel. He's a little known figure in the board game industry. You might have caught wind of him. I've partnered with him to produce how to play videos for his channel, which is super mega crazy exciting megaton announcement that I'm really happy to share with you. It's been pent up for a little while now, and now we've got the project that I can announce. So I'm going to be doing this unboxing. I'm actually taping this long before I finish doing the how to play video for Monumental, which is going to air on Rahdo's channel right now. So after you're finished watching this unboxing, you can go immediately to the Rahdo Runs Through channel and watch my how to play video for Monumental, which is pretty exciting. I'll answer a couple of questions that might come to your mind. Is this the end of Knights Around the Table? It's not. I'm going to keep on trucking, and I'm going to keep on making videos. You're going to be able to see stuff here that you won't be able to see on Rahdo's channel. I'm only putting the how to play videos on Rahdo's channel, and not all of them. Only the ones that are sponsored by certain board game publishers like Funforge here with Monumental. So you'll still see me do Board Games 101 here, and you'll still see me do The Secret Life of Board Games. I'll do unboxings, I'll do how to play videos for the games that I want to do, and then certain how to play videos will show up on Rahdo's channel. I think it's a pretty cool arrangement. I'm pretty darn excited about it. So you'll be able to go over to Rahdo's channel now and see if it's a roaring success or not. But on to this. So because I'm doing a how to play video for their Kickstarter campaign, Funforge sent along not just the base game and not just the expansion, but a bunch of other accoutrements. They're a French company, is that how you say stuff in French? Les stuff. And I'll show all of that to you. Actually, let's do like a quick inventory of what they sent along. So there's the base game. There's Lost Kings and the expansion. You can tell that it is a Kickstarter exclusive because the boxes actually have nothing on the backs of them. So you can't even, you have to, you know, obviously if you purchase this, you know what's going on with this game. And maybe if you're watching this video, you don't know what's going on with this game. I didn't. They sent along a little box of metal coins, and this is a poster tube full of, I think these are just posters of some of the artwork that you'll find in the game that you get. I'm not too sure if this is an add-on that you can have with your pledge on Kickstarter. So you get these nice, very pretty, and there's a bunch of them in there. I'm not too sure what I'm going to use these for, but you'll notice in my how to play videos, I do interstitial title screens, you know, with backgrounds, and usually those are photographic backgrounds that I get from a royalty-free photo site. So what I'll probably do is scan or photograph those and have those as the backgrounds when the titles come in the interstitial. You'll know anyway, if you're really bored with unboxing videos, and I don't know how you could be, but you go and watch the how to play video for this, you'll know. I don't even know, but that's what I'm planning to do. And then back here, this is a full stack of neoprene player mats. I think they're made of neoprene. I don't even know what neoprene is. It's some foamy jazz. I don't buy player mats. Do you buy player mats? I don't really see the opportunity to. The very first time I encountered a player mat was at my local board game convention, and somebody was playing the Gollum version of Century Spice Road. This is the very first time I had ever seen a neoprene player mat. And I don't know where the person got it, and I don't know where the person got the Gollum version from, but I thought it was very pretty. So here is one of the neoprene player mats. So of course, they want this game to look great on camera, and it's going to with these puppies out there. They sent along 5 of them. I'm probably only going to need 1 for the most part because I only show 1 player's stuff. But obviously this is going to be a card game where you're putting cards in a tableau and something feather related. I'm not sure. I know very little about the game, but what I can tell you is that it is a civilization game. And there are minis aplenty. That's typical of Kickstarter, isn't it? Having a game that has gobs and gobs of minis. I'll put this down here. And this is that game, gobs and gobs of minis. Honestly, if I were to encounter this on Kickstarter, it probably wouldn't ring my bell because I'm not a big miniatures board gamer myself. I'm starting to get more on side with the miniature stuff. Like I bought Scythe that has miniatures and I'm dying to paint them, and then Mind Clash Games sent along Anachrony, and that has a ton of miniatures, and I'm kind of itching to paint those as well. I don't paint miniatures either. If you saw my video about painting, that was the very first time I had ever painted a miniature, that little skeleton from the Reaper Bones How to Paint kit. Anyway, I think it makes most sense, obviously, to open up Monumental first and then to crack into the expansion. So here we go. It's a little bit like you get a game with a ton of miniatures in it, and it's almost like, hey, here's a whole pile of work for you. And then if you don't do that work, you feel guilty for not putting in the effort and painting those miniatures. Bizarrely. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Neurotic, I think. So a civilization game, a 4X civilization game. 4X is a term borrowed, I think, originally from video games, which is 4 words that don't start with X but have X in them. Exploit, expand, extol. I always forget what the third X is. Expand, exploit, something, and exterminate. Of course, you can pile into the comments section below and tell me what that third X is. I'll probably remember it by the end of this video. This is a tight fit, this box lid. The box fartometer is listening very closely, as we all are. Ooh, it's a deep box too. Oh, oh my gosh. The effort, the effort. Veins straining. Oh, here we go. The box fartometer, 0. I thought that was going to be a massive ripper, to be honest with you. Ha! Woo! Woo-hoo! It's got that fresh off the conveyor belt smell. The rule book is in its own. I rarely see this. It's in its own Ziploc baggie. You ever see that? That's interesting. Wonder why that is. I've never seen. That's weird. That's downright weird. I've never seen that before in my life. It's actually 2 rule books. Oh no, it's something else. Hold on, let's take a look. Rule book, lots of gorgeous full-colored pictures, tons of text describing movement and placement and tokens and chits and things, and it clocks in at 15 pages. I think this might be actually the first Funforge game I've ever played, so I don't know how they are with the rule books. But I know that with some games, they translate the rule books into different languages, and when you get confused about a rule, maybe you go on Board Game Geek and you look it up and people are like, oh, well, the German rule book makes it very clear that blah, 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 blah. So sometimes some things can be lost in translation. I hope that's not the case with this. I'm not suggesting it is, but I was just doing a how to play video for Village, and that was the case with one of the rules. It was a little bit ambiguous in English, but it was apparently crystal clear in German or in French. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est un... Looks like a series of maps that we're creating. Yeah, prosperity map, the inner sea. So these are different map layouts. We're going to find a bunch of cool hexes in there, and these are different map modes we can play with. And the civilization manual, depending on which civilization you choose, this is maybe just a bunch of information about that civilization. These are all based on real empires that existed on Earth. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so after the cardboard stuff to punch out, which we'll get into, yads! Oh my gosh, look at all those miniatures. And it's a very deep box, so there's likely more beneath that. Okay, so you can buy this game on Kickstarter either with the miniatures or without. And clearly this is the version that comes with the miniatures, I dare say. I'm going to put it way the heck up here for the moment so that we can open up the cardboard. What do we have? A big mat of squares, some small tokens that represent the civilizations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 civilizations? Possibly 8. Sounds like a better number. I think I might have read 8 somewhere. We'll take a look. Could be 9. Oh, they're going to be all right here. Or some of them are going to be here. These are tokens representing different monuments and colossi built by the different civilizations. So I recognize the Colossus of Rhodes and Jesus Cristo the Redeemer from Rio de Janeiro, Statue of Liberty, America, Machu Picchu. Yeah, nice. More tokens. These are about an inch, inch and a quarter square. Don't want to lose that one, so I'll stick it back in. Get unpunched. And about the same size. Some of these are round. These are very important. I think these might be barbarians. I've read a little tiny bit about this game, not that much. And these are hexagonal tokens that look all shiny, Aztec goldy, lion-headed, valuable. Get unpunched. Get ye back into ye cardboard seat. Now, the big show. Holy monkey. Whoa. Now, oh, why they don't make little indents so you can grab this kind of thing without fear of wrecking it. Whew. Underneath cards, tiles, and this, it looks like a double-decker thing of minis. Take the tape off the edges. Yeah, da-da-da. On the first Kickstarter campaign, they had a couple of examples of these miniatures fully painted, and they were pretty, man, very impressed with people who can skillfully paint miniatures, because the stuff they produce is just fantastic. Here we are. My word. My word. So these ones, I think these are sort of like your, whoa, I'm so sorry, your grunts. They might be, I'm not sure if they're per civilization grunts, but these look very Viking-y. Yeah, the horned helmet and the beard. They're quite detailed. They're quite cool. He's got a little skull for his belt buckle. And these ones are the civilization leaders. I don't know enough about my stylized civilizations to know who that is, but he looks Viking-y. And I know that, hold on, let's see if we can figure out who these people are. No, there's no way. I don't know enough about Eastern civilizations to know who that guy is. He looks Southeast Asian. I think I looked this up. She may be Mulan, perhaps. One of these guys is going to be Alexander the Great. Perhaps that guy with the lion hat? I'm not too sure. Did Alexander the Great have a lion hat? And then this is one of the pharaohs. The big eagle on his spot. They look really, really cool and super paintable. And then underneath that, oh my gosh. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. My word. Put that aside. So this is obviously sort of like a semi-fictional approach, because I don't think that this huge fat winged demon guy was actually an actual world leader. Who is that? Gorbachev? I'm not too sure. It might be Gorbachev. I'm not sure. But, look, man, There's a guy on a big old horse. Maybe that's Alexander the Great. No. Oh, I know who that is. That's like Genghis Khan. That's got to be him. With that Mongol hat on. I bet you anything. I didn't know anything about Genghis Khan and the Mongols until I listened to Hardcore History by Dan Carlin. Man, what an amazing podcast that is. If you want to know about ancient civilizations and have them brought to life for you in a really amazing, I don't know why I'm plugging Dan Carlin, but holy cow, it's so good. You got to listen to Hardcore History. It's amazing. This guy, yeah, so there's monsters in here. I didn't expect that, actually. I didn't think there would be. There's some sort of, there's like a griffin or a sphinx in there. Or a manticore. I get my hybrid animals mixed up. Oh, look, that's got to be a gorgon. A Medusa. Oh, holy cow. They're I have no idea what that is. It looks like some sort of sea monster kraken devouring a ship. How? So yeah, there's some stuff going on in this game that I did not anticipate in the slightest. Blah, Nelly. And a few more of the civilization leaders over here. I know a couple of them are this is kind of cool, man. You got like, that's Albert Einstein for sure. You got Albert Einstein fighting Medusa? How does that work? It's like, science. She's like, nah, stone, man. This is cool too. That's possibly, I don't know who that is. Maybe Joan of Arc? Big flag. There's something very French Revolution-y about waving that huge flag. Whoa, Nelly. And then here, a bunch of plastic bits. So these are markers and tokens. A few, I've seen these cubes obviously in games before, but I've never seen them neon orange like that. And a couple of soft, rounded discs for the different players. Never seen them like that either, with the rounded edge. These are presumably to put at the base of your leaders and things. So, oh, maybe not. It looked like it fit the bottom of the Mongol horsey. Yeah, but it doesn't look like it fits a whole bunch of these other guys, like these monsters. Does that mean monsters are non-playable because they've got a square base? I'm not sure. I know so very little about this. If you'd like to know more, go watch the How to Play. Wow, neat. Okay, so plastic markers and tokens, presumably to indicate ownership. Oh, here's some smaller ones. Look, they've got smaller ones that'll fit the smaller leaders. Makes sense to me. And last but not least, in the base game box. Again, there's no divots to stick my hands in. Oh, but look. Oof. They have, I'm not too sure if these additional, oh, that's nice, having the game name embossed in that plastic. That's a nice touch. I'm not sure if these are to hold the tokens we just looked at, or if these are to hold expansion tokens from the expansion that we'll bust out in a second. So we have, it's primarily, I think, a card game. So we have a little pack of cards here, probably only about 50,000 cards in there, that has Hail Hydra on one side of it. And these look like monster cards, a two-headed serpent and Cerberus and a Djinn and a Frost Giant and a Golem. Oh, Golems, we've come full circle. Scary, scary things to menace your civilization. And these tiles are super cool. This is like a math sheet or an art sheet, these tiles, because all they are, I'll bust one open. All they are is hexagons, but they've been made cooler because you can take a hexagon, six-sided shape, and you can like warp the edge in a cool and interesting way. As long as you warp the edge symmetrically all around the hexagon, your hexagons are going to be able to fit together like so. and it just makes it look cooler and more interesting than a normal hexagon. I think that looks pretty neat. So those are the tiles. Different terrain types. We've got swampland, and we've got mountainous, scary winterland, and volcanoes and seas. Oh, they look pretty cool. They look so cool. I'm going to open this one and check it out. All right, ta-da. So we have some sort of brick interlock and lovely forest. I thought those were treasure marks. X marks the spot. They're bird X's. Bird marks the spot. Pretty cool. Really nice artwork. A whole slew of artists worked on this game. Might as well bust out the third. Stack of tiles. More forest with a lovely little stone well in it. An autumnal scene with pathways. Then a slightly scarier alien landscape. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but it is quasi-fictional. That looks like sort of swampy mythological hellscape. Hades, perhaps, I'm not sure. And finally, since it is a card game, the main event, the cards. 3 huge decks of approximately 50,000 cards each in them. And these are different from the Hydra ones we just saw, so the monster deck. Let's see if they all have the same backs. No rip strip on these, so you're going to require a craft knife or some very sharp canines. These are almost all part of the same deck. So we've got cards with worlds on the back, cards with gears on the back, and the world cards. Civilization card. Draw another card. Perform its non-specialized actions twice. So this is a game where it looks like you get a bunch of cards, and then you can make the cards combo off each other and do cool stuff to move your pieces around the board and presumably do naughty things with your civilization. But it doesn't look like, wow. I mean, there's gorgeous art on the card, but I'm surprised that we're not seeing a whole bottom section with instructions. It's just a number on the top right, a number and a color. I'm surprised that these cards are so simple, but there's got to be cards deeper in the deck. Oh, there's one of the gear cards. So these ones will be ones with, yes, more writing and instructions on them. Action cards. Civilization cards. Draw cards from the deck until you reach one with a technological action and use it. Discard all the other cards. Yeah, so this is more what I expected. More looks like you get one of these depending on which civilization you pick. Egypt or Canadian. I don't know who that guy is. The Canadians are represented in here, I hope. I don't know who would be the lead. Canada never had an empire or anything, so Canada doesn't show up. It's a very new country. But if we were to pick a hero, I don't know who that would be. It'd be like William Lyon Mackenzie King, or like Guy Caballero from SCTV. I'm not sure. I'll tell you what though, I would back a Kickstarter with a Guy Caballero minifig from SCTV. So yeah, these cards with the back that says R on the, oh, these are all different decks. So there's an R, oh, more world cards, an R card, might be a hard R card, I'm not sure. These are player guides. This one says 3, this one says 2, this one says 1, all kinds of stuff going on here. But these ones have more of the instructional text that I would expect from a heavy card game on the bottom. So things like, whenever a player controls more provinces than you, it costs 2 less military to conquer their provinces. Very in-your-face, concrete, move around a map kind of thing. Cool, that's what you get in the base game box. One more deck that we should open before we move on. presumably lots of different backs on these ones too. These look, yeah, very much civilization based. So let's just take the Egyptian ones and take a look. Once a turn, instead of activating a work camp, you may activate or archive to gain 1 culture. Yeah, so these are going to be specific to your chosen civilization. I suppose this looks Phoenician. Oh no, these are, what am I talking about? These are Vikings. Whenever you conquer a capital province, gain 1 gold kind of thing. So I presume that all of the different sides are going to play asymmetrically because they'll all have a little deck of cards they can do different things with. More cards with worlds on their backs and more beautiful artwork and flavor text at the bottom. You know, really gorgeous artwork, all illustrated, all by different artists. But you know what? And it's hard to do this. You need a good art director if you're going to pull this off. All different artists, but it doesn't look like it. Unless I looked very closely, I would have a hard time picking out, oh, this art was done by Joe and this art was done by Susan or whoever. So that's you know, kudos to them. That's not always easy to do with a whole stable of artists. Could be that just one artist did all the cards and then one artist did the cover and the posters. I'm not sure, but it looks all consistent. And now, the final box. Maybe, should I open the coins? There's the coins there. That's what they look like. They're hexagonal. And what's kind of interesting is that, oh, I see. I was going to say I didn't see any coins in the base game, but I think that's what those yellow looking things were. So this packaging, this is danger packaging. This is how we kill ourselves. Let me get scissors. Okay, I feel much more secure with this stuff. It's weird. This is kind of like anti-theft packaging. Like, you don't use clamshell packaging anymore because it's too easy to rip off the clamshell and steal stuff. But for a product that isn't even at retail, that nobody's gonna steal, I'm surprised that they went so draconian on the packaging. Whoo, boy. I don't know, maybe it's inexpensive. Nothing much going on there, but metal coins. Always nice to play a game with metal coins. Yeah, I was right. Those are the lions that were on those yellow hexagonal tokens we looked at from the punch board. Oh, I would put one in my mouth, but in the days of the virus, you don't mess around with money too much. So let's dive into the Lost Kingdoms and see what's up. Again, I did a tiny bit of reading on this because I didn't want to come into this totally blind, but from what I understand, Monumental comes with X number of civilizations, and the Lost Kingdoms has 4 additional civilizations that you can play as, which is cool because they all have their own abilities and they're all their own powers. And then it adds some terrain types, I believe, too, so we should see those. No, box fartometer 0. But that's okay. That might actually be an upgrade on Kickstarter to get a better box fart. Don't quote me on that. It might not be, I think. So the original had a Ziploc baggie. This one has a peel apart baggie protecting the rule book and the punch card. As before, a massive thing of miniatures. Doesn't look like it's too deep like it was in the base game, but we'll check that out in a second. Here's a punch board with more, I presume, barbarian tokens, though I'm not sure, and more wonders to build. Sorry, up here, wonders to build that are specific to the new civilizations. Oh, possibly not. Got the Red Fort, you've got the Panama Canal, you've got that Ziggurat. That's also the title of a board game that I haven't learned how to pronounce yet. Very cool. The rulebook is surprisingly substantial, but see, what they've done is, it's not all that substantial. It's just a couple of pages explaining the new civilizations. So the new ones are the Aztecs, the Amazons, the Mughals, and the Atlanteans. Remember, we're mixing fantasy with reality in this game. And then this was split up into a separate book before, but now it's all these different map layouts that you can try are all in the same book. Fine. And the miniatures. Talked about painting. You get more of these towers. Could you imagine the monotony of painting every single one of these towers? Oh my goodness. So it looks like a lot more of the grunt figures that are all the same. I'm assuming these will be like your pawns, or the representation of your civilization's people, and then your leaders do special things. Wow, look at him. Look at that headdress. Pretty amazing. I was like looking at the backs of miniatures because I saw a video that a couple of guys did on how they go from step 0 of the miniature production to getting to a final piece and how it all comes together. And one of the things the guy was saying was that they often have to guess at what goes on the backs of miniatures because the artists don't provide that back view. They just show like a cool front shot, and then they have to sort of like make up what goes on behind. But it looks like an artist or someone has very deliberately put arrows in the back of her. There's Poseidon, like, oh cool, he's got like an octopus up on his shoulder. That reminds me of, you ever play Puzzle Pirates? That was a great game. And one of the most premium things you could get in Puzzle Pirates was an octopus to sit on your shoulder. I wonder if the artist ever played Puzzle Pirates. Oh, there's a second tier. It's like a layer cake of surprises. Here is the deck of new tiles. More cobblestone and, ooh, a very nice looking islandy, piratey looking tile. Those are pretty. More woodsy stuff, a stream, dunes. I don't know if I'd be so happy to be wandering through the desert and come across that oasis. Ah, fresh water. A ziggurat, couple of ziggurats tying into the Aztec civilization. Neato. Those are the new tiles you get. I'm going to keep them separate so I don't mix them up. Spots to fit everything. Looks like they've paid attention to where stuff's going to go after you punch it out. I always like that. I'm never a big fan of what I call the well in a board game box, where it's just 2 shelves of cardboard and then a pit in the middle. What else? A couple more of those fluorescent orange cubes. A new player color. This one looks like the mint green that you can get your KitchenAid stand mixer in from 1956. Now with mint green. And 2 more decks of cards to end it all off. These are going to be more of the same, except particular to the civilizations that are in this box. Which, if you're all over Monumental, is the most exciting thing to use, to see the civilization cards. All very pretty, all really high caliber, high quality artwork. Looks really nice. It's really nice. It's cool that you can play as ladies instead of just big, burly, beefy dudes. Gives me hope that I might be able to entertain my daughters with this game, potentially. Those are the icons for the 4 new civilizations. They look really nice. And the artwork. So I wonder if this is the artwork that the miniature sculptor based the miniatures on. Nice to see some making of production art. More world cards with different artwork, new artwork doing different and new things. All very nice, all gorgeous. Wow, really quality stuff. That is the sum total of all the components that I've been able to discover in both the main game and the expansion box for Monumental and Monumental the Expansion of the Lost Kingdoms. Like I say, if you sat through this entire uninformative nonsense video and you'd like to learn how to play the game, I've got a how to play video up right now on Rahdo's channel. So head on over there, Rahdo runs through. I'll put a link in the bottom. I'll probably put click that eye that pops up there and it'll link you directly to that video. You can find out how to play. Currently, I have no idea, but future me who's doing that video will know all about it. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for sticking with me for the past couple of years and helping me with this channel and supporting me. The channel's not going anywhere. It's still going to be amazing and it's only going to get better now that I've partnered up with Rahdo on his stuff. Are you a Monumental backer? Did you back this on Kickstarter? Are you interested in backing this on Kickstarter? Have you played it and loved it, played it and don't like it? Please let me know. I'd like to hear. Drop a comment in the section below and we'll talk about it. And if you'd like to talk to me more real time, hit me up on the Discord channel. See you soon. Did you just watch that whole thing? Oh, hey, to 100% this video, click the badge to subscribe and then click the bell to get notifications when I've got new stuff.